Hello, my name is Kelly Bluen. I am a certified Zentangle teacher. Welcome to 15 Minutes of Zen. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the tangle Florious by Franciska Sprengers. I'm using a micron PN plastic nib pen, a Zentangle brand graphite pencil for shading, and a tortillion for blending. These supplies are all available on zentangle.com. Also using a 2" by 2" Zentangle tile called the Bijou. Feel free to use any supplies that you have on hand. Okay, to make this tangle, we're going to start with our pen by putting a dot in each of the four corners. Just a little light dot. And then we're going to connect those dots to create a square. Now sometimes I make these a little bit wiggly and fun, but today I'm going to make it pretty straight. So this pattern, Florious, is a grid. We actually make the tangle 4 separate times. So I'm going to make a grid on here by putting a horizontal line and a vertical line in what I think is the center, or close enough. Okay, so I'm going to keep using my pen, and I'm going to start in this upper left-hand corner over here, and I'm going to go from this bottom corner up to this top corner. And when I do this, I'm not going to make a straight line, I'm going to curve it a little bit. So I'm going to curve it out a little bit. And then I'm going to go above it, and I'm going to create another one and another one. So I have the first big line, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller. I'm going to turn my tile, and I'm going to do that again in this section. So I'm going to go from that bottom corner up to that top corner by making a curve, and then another curve, and one more. Turn it again. Big curve, corner to corner. It's kind of making this slightly squarish circle, or a rounded square. Make another one and another one. Turn it one more time, corner to corner, making that a little bit of a curve. Curve, curve. All right, I've got all of those made. Now comes the fun part, filling these in. So we're going to work in the one square over here, this left-hand square, and I'm going to make a little bump out right here, kind of about the size of, I don't know, the tip of a fingernail. So just like that, I'm centering it on that line, creating that little bump. Now in the actual tangle, we just color that in black, but I'm going to make another tangle called Caviar, which means I'm going to put a reflection in there, and then I'm going to color it in dark. Okay. I'm also going to aura it, and if you do not feel comfortable doing an aura, because your hands are shaky or you just don't like auras, it's okay. You don't have to put this aura in. You can just leave it black. I'm going to do it on the next one, so I'm going to make that little fingernail shape. put in a reflection and color that in. That's a separate tangle called Caviar. Again, the actual tangle just calls for a black little circle there, but I like adding that extra. And I'm going to aura that one. And turn. Fingernail size shape. Add a reflection and color it in. This would be a beautiful one to do in a separate color. I've got one more of those to make. Right in the center. Add the reflection. And enjoy coloring that in. Add the aura if you would like. It's looking so cool. Okay, now I'm going to go up to these little bands that I made up here, and I'm going to go to this middle ribbon. So I've got this ribbon here, a middle one, and then one in the corner. In the one here, I'm going to color a little bit of it. Let me show you this real quick. I color in just a part of it and leave this jagged edge. And then I do the same thing this way. And I stop like that. And it makes it look like it has a reflection. So I'm going to turn the middle band here. I color in just a little ways. And then the other side of that band. It looks really cool. Go to your next one. If I'm moving too fast, feel free to stop the video. Take a minute to catch up. Both sides, stopping in the middle. Okay, I'm going to go back to this center part here, and I'm going to make a petal coming out of this. So I'm going to go all the way to the middle and down. I leave a little space at the bottom of that petal. And then I want to make two more on each side. So I'm going to make one here and there, trying to touch the edge of that line. If you don't quite make it, it's okay. And I'm just going to turn my tile and do it again. So off this caviar shape, I'm going to make a petal going all the way to the middle and to the side. And the side, and then two on the other side. I love how this fills in. Big one. And then two on the sides. This would be really pretty just making one of these squares in the corner of a card or adding other tangles to it, but I really love how it turns out when you put four together. Okay, now I'm going to take a second and I'm going to color in all of these in between places. And I'm going to go kind of quickly because I want to fit this in 15 minutes. So all of these spaces in between these petals, I'm just going to color that in. I recommend not going fast, but I really want to get this done for you. Coloring in all of those areas. Sometimes you can switch to a thicker pen if you would like for this part. I like to fill things in with maybe an 08 or this PN that's got a thicker nib than other pens do. Coloring this in adds so much drama and dimension. And after this part, you can leave those petals plain. That's how it's done originally. But of course, I like to add a little extra. So in each petal, I'm going to put a short line and some dots. So a line and some dots. In my little petals, I can do a line and one dot. If you have another favorite you'd like to put in these petals, go ahead and do that. I feel like it adds so much. There we go, it's so pretty. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do before I shade is I'm going to add one more aura around the outside just to give it a cute little frame. And I like making this line a little bit wiggly on purpose. Add some character. Okay, I'm going to pick up my pencil and do a few minutes of shading. This has a lot of ink, so we don't need a lot of graphite to shade. But I'm going to go on the inside edge and put a little bit where these white ribbons are and a little bit in those corners. I don't have to go over the inked part too much. So on that inside edge and in those corners. Inside edge and corners. Then I'm going to put a little bit around that caviar shape, just a tiny bit over those petals. So going around each caviar shape. It just gives it some depth. Okay, if you've got that done, we're going to pick up our tortillion, and I'm going to do that inside edge first. So I'm going to smooth out that corner and then soften those areas going up that ribbon. Again, where you have the black ink, you don't need to do much. Just really where those white areas are. And in that corner. This kind of makes it look like these areas are disappearing into the side. I love how that looks. Then I'm going to smooth out those areas around the caviar, making little circles and then pushing it up and away from that center. Little circles. Pushing it up and away. It looks so beautiful. That's it. It looks amazing. Oh, I love that so much. On the back, always write the name of the tangle. Write the date that you made it, and then add a little journal entry about something that's going on in your life. And on the front, initial it, called an artist chop. Put your initials in there. Sneak them in somewhere. And that's it. That is Florius. I hope you enjoy the video and have a wonderful week. Thank you.